Okay. Okay. So I think we were on this slide and the last. Okay. Then we gone through the course content in detail, and yeah. So I just wanted to discuss maybe a pipeline for today. So let's see, like a ELT pipeline. How is it really designed in Google Cloud Platform? Maybe an example around it. And also, if you have some questions, please interrupt me, because this will be something which you might need to work on. Okay, so this is a GCP sketch note where you can get an idea around what tools you can use and how you can really define a ELT pipeline. And like if you see, you can read data from a source which you would like to ingest data from, maybe from a cloud PubSub, which is a streaming service where the data on a particular topic gets published and subscribed. So you want to know that your accounting department has some changes which needs to go to the finance department, or also many departments together as a single message. Then you have this streaming data which comes in, where you work with a framework called PubSub, where you create a topic. On that topic, you start sending messages, and yeah, you publish a message, and the people who are subscribed to this topic, like, are you aware of Kafka by any chance? How do you really know Kafka? Anyone?
Yes, Raghav, I know.
Okay. So if you know Kafka, this is the PubSub is the service which handles streaming for you in Google Cloud Platform. So you can have a topic, and upon the topic, there can be messages published. Based on the messages, there might be data which is subscribed, and you want to read that streaming data. So for this, you work with the Cloud PubSub to
So,
capture the data.
Raghav, one question.
Yeah.
So Kafka, we usually do the streaming processing, right? There are three components. One is producer, broker, and consumers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Your
how it works?
Your producer is the publisher, consumer
Okay.
is the subscriber.
Subscriber. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you have a data transfer service, which where you can use the service to bring the data from your previous data warehouse onto. Okay, yeah, let me get the slide. Okay, so from your previous data warehouse, you can directly transfer the data using data transfer service. So here you can do a complete data migration using this particular tool. So for any lift and shift project, or for any cloud transformation project, you want to have the existing data, which is the history data of the data warehouse, to be hosted as is in the new data warehouse, that is BigQuery. And you want the code to be migrated as well, whether to a cloud native solution, or whether to a code based ETL, is something depending upon your company's architecture, like whether they want to go with the with a GUI ETL tool also. It is possible, because even Informatica and many other tools are now having BigQuery adapters to read in or to write in data. So that's possible. But data transfer service from Google will help the customer to transfer the existing data. There is petabyte scale of data which might sit in archives as well as in the archive databases, and the regular running, like in general, clients maintain this snapshot data, which is very current, which is very recent, within the last 6 months or one year, which resembles the financial year in many cases. And they have this history data, which is used to have as a source of information, so that they can aggregate and get some snapshots around it. And also there is archive data as well, which is very long, and which generally sits in tape drives actually. So for all these, you have a solution in BigQuery, where you can place it in the right access tiers, like hot access, cold access, or yeah, based on the level of frequency of your access to the data, you can define that. So data transfer tool will guide and will have the processes to connect to the database and have establish a connection and read the data and have the data completely migrated to BigQuery. So this is one offering which comes from Google Cloud Platform. Storage transfer service is where you have the data migrated from the other cloud or on-premise. Like it also deals with the files which you have, which you maintain. So that's where this comes into help. Cloud IoT Core. So this is about the streaming events which happen from IoT devices, and they generate a lot of data, and you want to capture this. So there is there is an additional services in IoT which generally captures, like there is like even from the sensors, there is a lot of data which is generated even from the logs for most of the applications. They are generating a huge set of log, but only whenever there is an issue or something, people are really interested. So even in that case, we have a solution at IoT. But we will not be discussing much into IoT part in our course, but just to give a gist of it. So for ingestion at a scale, these are the few options, especially for streaming ingestions actually. And for the regular data ingestion, which you want to do with batch processing with a one-time load per day and create a data lake, it's always possible. You can definitely do that and have whenever you see this is cloud storage. This is BigQuery. This is publisher and subscriber actually. So in cloud storage, which resembles the file system in general case, you have a computer, you have your file system, you want to store some files in it. That's where you can organize it through an explorer. But when it comes to Google Cloud, you want to store some files, some reference files, some CSV files which you want to use it for reference, as well as you want to export some data to an external party. And but before you send it, you need to host it, you need to store it somewhere. Once you process it, you need to store. So even for that storage service, cloud storage will help you actually. For processing, you see, for starting from here till the analysis part, till you load into BigQuery, and also after BigQuery, Cloud Data Fusion is going to help you. It's a fully managed service. Whenever you hear the word fully managed, so it is like all the settings, everything. It comes as will be managed by Google. So it's a code-free data integration service, which where you can do ETL and ELT also. So nowadays mostly we see ELT happening in terms of pipeline data. So this is one good solution which comes from Google Cloud Platform. So Cloud Composer is one tool which has nothing to do with the actual data, but it is the orchestration tool. So you can orchestrate your data fusion jobs, as well as you can orchestrate your uh, scripts, maybe written in shells, maybe Python scripts which have an executable. You can place it in a particular task and have it in a DAG. DAG is one executable component. You can call it as a workflow. So DAG will define how you want to run a particular data flow, how you want to pull the data, how you want to, if you have a requirement to place the files from one location to other, you want to check whether the header is having a certain fields, you want to see whether the file came in with the correct number of headers, and you want to see whether the file is corrupted before you load it. You want to see whether it came with 0 byte or actually having some good amount of data. These kind of checks, which we generally write in Unix. So you want to do it before you start your ingestion. So that kind of thing, you write in a shell script and have it just before as a first task in the DAGs. That's possible in DAG. So when it comes to processing, you have cloud data flow, you have cloud data proc, and you have also cloud data prep actually. So We'll discuss a bit about data flow and data proc. Data flow, as we discussed, this is a solution which is for both the stream and batch processing. So data flow uses the Beam, Apache Beam, where you work with p transforms, like where you work with the collections, like you, if you are aware of this Beam, this it's a combination which where you can do batch and stream processing together. So this is one of the powerful offering as well from Google, where you can do both batch and stream together. Like the batch load goes on once in a day or as per your schedule, and there might be streaming inserts. Which, when you say streaming inserts, the volume of data will be very less compared to that of uh, that of batch processing. The volume will be less in stream processing, but the frequency at which we get the data is very fast, very fast and during the day. And data proc, like you can spin up a managed Hadoop cluster with also with the Spark platform, as well as like if you would like to really have these Hive databases and all the Hadoop related components in it, data proc is the one. So once you create a data proc cluster, you can enter into your Hadoop cluster and start working directly with the Hive tables or whatever you want. You can create Hive tables and start spinning up your Hadoop environment from there. Actually, so this data proc is the one which will enable you in that. Okay, and cloud data prep is relatively new, and it is the solution for data preparation. And you want to really do some data preps for the visualization before you actually go live for a particular project, but you want to simulate something, do something. Data prep is going to help you. So this is one thing which you do for processing. For processing, always remember the native ETL tool for Google Cloud Platform is Data Fusion. Data Fusion takes care from ingestion till analysis also. Okay, then storage. How you want to store your data. So firstly, if you want to store in in a columnar database, highly scalable, petabyte scalable, which is a serverless data warehouse. When you say serverless data warehouse, it is a software as a service, and it is cloud native, which is coming as a service offering from Google Cloud Platform. So BigQuery storage, it is as much as you can, but you might need to use it as per data coming in into BigQuery is ingress. Data going out means reading, and processing is egress. So always data going out will be charged. Coming in is not charged. So also when you see cloud storage, so you can place, you can define the storage of a particular project at a bucket level also. At a bucket level, you would like to store something. There is a cost involved in it. And you want to download, or you want to egress whatever files you have, even that has a cost for it. Okay, so this all you can, the best thing which I really like about BigQuery is you have CSV files or text files, you can query them. You can query the files directly from BigQuery, which are sitting in cloud storage, but not on any other cloud platform or on-premise. So if the file is sitting in cloud storage, you can directly run a pseudo SQL kind of SQL commands. Using that, you can query them. And in the final, the reporting tool which we were talking about was Looker. Looker is going to be used for BI dashboarding, where you want to create your reports or dossiers, dashboards, interactive dashboards, dossiers, and everything. And Looker is by default connected to BigQuery, and you can visualize the results then and there. It's also possible. There is an advanced analytics topics also, which goes more into ML and AI. Cloud AI platform is a very big subject in Google Cloud Platform. So let's see, maybe.
So Raghavendra, maybe just a question,
Yeah.
like in our course, do we cover in each and every module at least 1 to 2 topics in the whole pipeline? Just
1 to 2 example, or what's the question?
no, we have a big pipeline, right? We have
Yeah,
storage, we have process.
yeah,
So in process, we will be covering one. In storage, we will be covering one or two, like that in our in our course entire. So at least
definitely,
like that, we will be covering minimum one, maximum two, like that in our batch.
definitely. But as I suggested, we will concentrate more on BigQuery.
Okay,
But when you say we need to work on Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, this will end up, this Cloud SQL will make the similar kind of effort. Maybe if you have worked in MS SQL, that's the same experience you will have in Cloud SQL. It's only that this instance will be hosted on Google with the flavor of MySQL. Hosting
okay,
will be on Google, but you might have already worked with MySQL. So knowing this will
yeah,
be nothing new for you.
okay, okay.
And
Thanks.
when you
Yeah,
come to BigQuery, this is a new flavor which you should know it. When it
okay,
is a data flow, it is something which we do through beam processing. We will take one example for it. We can't go depth into it because even I didn't implement into it, but I know what this can do and where this can be used. So at the moment, I see data flow usage and data fusion usage is very is not that much, but these tools are still evolving actually. Fusion, I should say, it is the competitor for Azure Synapse Analytics. Synapse Analytics is a bit advanced because Azure is into data workloads from some time. So we'll take one example for data flow and data fusion. For data proc, spinning up Hadoop cluster, I can explain maybe till creating a small table in Hive, but not more than that. Okay, and for Looker, we can take one visualization. PubSub, we can definitely take creation of a topic, like creating, taking a subscription for that topic and work with that. That's
okay.
possible. So let's see the console first, maybe. How many people have already seen the console till now?
No,
Maybe, yeah,
You mean
no.
Google Cloud?
the cloud console, yeah, Google Cloud
Yeah,
Console.
yeah, we have seen. I have
Is
seen.
there, is everyone aware of this, or you know how?
Just we created the account and have seen the console, but I didn't go through deep actually.
I have not seen Raghav.
Okay, okay. So let's see, look at the console and maybe let's see just two services. One is cloud storage and another is a BigQuery. Okay. Okay, so let me go here. So whatever you're able to see right now is a BigQuery console. So by default, if you want to practice something, you get a free trial status, which is for 90 days and $300. And when you create and when you have a Google account, when you have a Google Gmail, okay, so you want to use this cloud services, you definitely need to give your credit card, which takes only 2 rupees for the first time, and then it refunds that also. But please remember, not all services, not all workloads are completely free. So you might need to check. I'll give one page that lists what to till what percentage you can go and get loaded. It's not that you can put a terabyte huge table in the trial version. It's not. You can go around, look around, create tables, work on few things, but a few advanced features are chargeable. So please remember, in the first 80 days as well as after 90 days, after 90 days, you might need to check whether there's billing going on. You can check your billing from billing section actually. So you can go. This is Google Cloud Platform home, like the Explorer window where you can go across services. When I press cloud services with the buckets, it opens the buckets. The cloud run is one runtime environment where you want to run something. Similarly, if you want to go to billing, you can see that also. So you can see the billing window will have an organization first, and then it will have a billing account. Okay, so for the billing account, please always check when you are using it, if there is a cost that is occurred. Maybe you are using Dataflow, Dataproc. These are some advanced analytical services which might incur cost if you create a huge workload and you leave it like that, maybe for 3 days, 4 days running. You didn't notice it, but suddenly at the end of the billing period in the credit card, you might see a bill coming in. So unless you expire this trial credit, generally the amount is not charged. After this expiry, if you are using a resource that is chargeable, and if it's crossing this limit, then you are automatically billed. So please be careful. Whenever you open a cloud account, whenever you enable cloud for a certain Gmail, see that no services are created. And if you create for some test purpose, try to kill them. Once you complete with your activity, try to kill them. Okay, so this is the window where you can see cloud storage. You can see the buckets. When you say bucket, this is the location where I can place some files. I can upload files from my local. Okay, and I can upload folders, and I can create folders over here. So please always remember these folder names and the bucket names should be unique also. Okay, and you want to transfer data in, data out, it's also possible. So you can do monitoring around the buckets, like which, as I discussed earlier. So the usage and, how the IO is really happening is what you can monitor. I didn't do much around, like I didn't place much files. That's the reason you don't see anything here. But this is how your cloud storage looks like. So this is a place where you can have your files, anything like source files or any data you want to store here, which is you can place it here. So in general, this will come up with a address which we generally most of the times refer to. So it comes with GS2 with a colon, and it will have a unique location. Once you place this, you can access it actually. Okay, also please remember all the GUI tools which you are able to access through this cloud platform can be accessed through command line interface also. For that, you need to have Google Cloud SDK installed on your machine. If you have Google Cloud SDK installed on your machine, you can access these buckets, services like BigQuery, everything from command line interface as well. So let's see a little bit into BigQuery. So you access BigQuery from the Explorer window. You just open here. You will be able to see the SQL workspace. And you can see all the, if there is a project you want to access to, you can access this way. You can create a project also, and you can create a new data set around that. And like in this project, I have a data set called August batch 2023. So this data set is nothing but a schema. In general, in Oracle, whatever you have as a schema, which has tables, is a bucket which holds a number of tables, you can say. Okay. So under this, at the moment, I don't have any tables, but yeah. So
How to create this data set, may I know?
you can go here and just say create data set. And in the create data set, you need to give a distinct data set ID, which is globally unique. So you can't give some name which is already used. Okay. So Okay. So maybe if there is some name which this company is using, you can't use it actually. So this should be global. So please remember that. And also always only letters, numbers, and underscores are allowed in this. Maybe let's create a data set. Okay, and you want to please must only have letters, numbers, and underscores. Okay. Okay, so underscore is allowed. So if you see multi-region, you want to create it in multiple regions under US or the location which is near to you. Always place the data near to your location. When if you are residing in Mumbai, please see that you select a location near to you, not multi-region. So currently, if you see multi-regions offered for this BigQuery service is from US and EU only. And when you select region, and please always remember if you are creating some dataset which is multi-region, it is a globally scalable thing. It might cost you once you complete 90 days, you end up creating this kind of thing. It might cost you more. But if you go for a region and then you select a region, maybe the cost of that tables inside that dataset will be less. So because of the high availability feature, that's something which might cost extra. So always, even working in projects, please remember when and where. Asia Pacific, I would like to choose Mumbai. And if you want to specify a table expiry, you want to mention the number of days after which you want to get rid of this table. So you can do that also. Sorry, you can define this at a dataset level actually. And there are advanced options where you want to encrypt this dataset with a customer managed encryption key. It's possible. Also, Google managed encryption key is also possible. You can have time travel as well. Time travel window is where you mention that this data set, when you enable this, this will give you 7 days, previous 7 days snapshot, like previous 7 days, or how was the position of this data set. So this is also possible. Let's see how by creating it. Data set already exists. Yeah, I tried to put it for set 2 times. So then you see this is the new data set. So it is created and the default expiry is been mentioned here. And yeah, and you can go ahead and create a table. You can create table like from the following, like you can access a Google Cloud storage, a file from there, and or you can upload a file from your local machine. You can access a drive, Google Drive location, or you can read from a Google Big Table. You can see, you can work with Amazon S3 or Azure Blob Storage. So this is how you create a table by selecting the type of source. Maybe I'll try to load it from my local. And okay. Okay, so I would like to read this data from this file. Okay. So you need to give the relative path of it. Okay, and then you need to mention what kind of file is that. So before that, let me see what kind of file is that. So it is a semicolon separated file. Okay. And you would like to mention the table name here. New table. It is You can give the option of auto detect schema because you have the header which has the names of the columns. And yeah, before we go much deeper into this, the table name will be with employee. So I will say with T_employee, so that schema will be automatically generated when you select this. I don't want any partitioning or clustering. Partitioning, you generally know when you want to partition data based on time, based on country, or based on a region or something, you want to enable it. Because if you have huge data, partitioning will help you. Clustering is kind of a primary key concept. Please remember, whenever you have worked with other data warehouses, you might have seen primary key, also secondary indexes. So if you want to enforce primary key, it's not possible in BigQuery, but in a latest advancement right now in Google Cloud Platform, it is also possible. So clustering is one way of doing that. Clustering is having a set of columns which will determine the uniqueness. You want to sort the data based on that way. Partitioning is a set of data you want to host separately. You want to partition a year 2023, 2022, so that the query runs faster based on the year. You want to cluster data based on few columns. Like I want to see my customer data based on a country, based on a product, to be clustered so that all the records sit together. So that's the way I can cluster. And I'll keep these ones. I would keep the delimiter as this. Okay, it is. Yeah. And there are no double quotes, many rows to skip. It's the first. You can preview the data here. Booker tool. Yeah, so this data is loaded already, and you can preview the data. Please always remember, it is best to preview the data because this doesn't incur cost. So whenever you are accessing a particular table, so this is the table ID. This is how you access. So please always remember, querying in BigQuery will happen through project.dataset.table. So select star from this. This will give you results, but in BigQuery, this is very bad practice. This is a very bad practice to write a SQL like this in case if it is huge table. So always limit maybe 100. If currently I have only 5 records, please forget about that. But always limit the data set. And since BigQuery is a columnar database, putting a star is a hindrance to the performance. You might see if I am running this SQL. Okay, so there will be a cost estimation which comes here. I'm not sure why it's not coming for this account, but generally there will be a cost estimation. The cost estimation comes in with how much data it's going to process. Okay, it gives you the details around how much data is going to process, and it will give you, generally star is reading into all columns, so it's a very costly query. So since it is a columnar database, each always try to query only the required columns, because even querying and processing is cost in cloud. And that's the reason I mentioned always, whenever you want to see some sample data, preview the data. Preview the data is not costing you anything. You can see the details of the table when it is created, what's the data location of it. And these features are very important whenever you see here. So this feature is very recent, where you might have seen this primary key addition, and how much bytes, how many number of rows, this kind of information is there. Schema, when you want to see like what is types, data types, like all character type will be into string, all decimal values will go into numeric, long decimals which has a huge scale will go into big numeric. Like we can have a slide around it, like how this data type conversion is happening from the previous databases to BigQuery. We can have a around it. Okay, and like also, if you see, if you have a view, or if you have a data, a table which has a SQL in it, the lineage gives you how and where the data is read from, and like how it is in this table. That's the part which you can access from there. So there is history, like project history and personal history. So this is how there was a load job created. Load job means you read the file. That job created this table. That's where the history of BigQuery jobs is there. If you see this, I put a select query, and this job executed. If you access this this link, you will come to know as well, like what happened and how it ran. This was a simple select, and it will show you the details around it, how many bytes is processed. Like these kind of details are available. When it comes to the project history, you will see the details around this job. Please always remember that this job will also have a lot of logs that can be used in the monitoring of log in the Logs Explorer. You have another tool called Logs Explorer. So over there, you can monitor the queries which are running in BigQuery. So if there is a long running query, if there's a performance intensive query, if there is a CPU intensive calculation in a particular query, all these can be accessed from Logs Explorer, as well as you can create some logs, dashboards, and analytics around the logs that Google Cloud Platform generates. Of course, you can also have monitoring dashboards which come in as the Google Cloud Platform itself. So those dashboards can also be something which ops colleagues can use to monitor the jobs. So that's also possible. So this is maybe something which I wanted to discuss on the tool. And also, as I said the last time, I would also like to see, this is the Visual Studio where I have DBT installed for me. So we might also do 1 or 2 days, a few sessions on DBT to run a simple model. Like if you see, this is a simple model where you set up a configuration for a particular model. So this is my folder. This is my folder in DBT where I have models. When you say model, it is how I want to transform as a certain table. So this is like you can say, I want to create a table which is having a name like this. I want to cluster it with these columns, and I want to tag it or access it with these names actually. So you just write a select on this from this location, and then place the config. So it creates a STG employee. So maybe we'll see in the next class, we'll try to run this basic model and try to see if the table is created in BigQuery. That's something which we can plan for the next session. So the next session, I'll see there will be a communication from Durga. So I would like to club maybe with the next batch. So for tomorrow, there is no class, but you will come to know about the latest class, next class from Durga. Saying that, I will end the session for today here. We will connect for the next class once we have this information. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, Raghav, 1 minute, please.
Yeah, please.
So actually today I'm going to pay for this one just a couple of minutes after the class. So may I know the batch where exactly when the batch will start, the paid batch?
It should be from the next week, actually. It should be from the next week. But I need to discuss with Durga around it. Maybe the information around it will come to you maybe by tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and just one question that after completion of the course, whether you will be helpful for us to give this some support where if we have any project stuff like that.
I can make you to work on the tool, firstly BigQuery. So I can make you confident about BigQuery. Secondly, the services which are there in BigQuery platform, Google Cloud platform, like cloud storage, also working with Airflow, working with Composer, working with all these. And once you know this, I think once you start speaking in the interview about this, I don't think you need me. That fear should go.
Okay.
Okay.
How is the job market, Raghav?
BigQuery is very huge, especially in the US market.
Okay, and how is the competition?
Competition at the moment, the people, I should not speculate around it, but BigQuery is known to organizations, is known to higher level managements, at least at the moment, its importance. And of course, all the projects which were previously with SSIS and SSRS and all the integration services which Microsoft had will stay with Azure. That's a known thing. So all the SQL Server based stuff still sits with Azure, and maybe because of this Synapse Analytics being a little advanced, definitely massive ETL processing clients might go with Azure. But definitely people who have huge data, like maybe the people who work with retail data, work with telecom data, also I should say finance clients also, they are looking at BigQuery.
Okay. So
BigQuery with a code-based ETL.
So nowadays, as you said yesterday, like most of the tool, I think for the next phase will move to CPT, right? Code based, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Code-based ETL.
And in my case, knowing two cloud technology, is it okay? Because
I would also not generalize it, saying that every organization will go with CBT. For financial institutions where you have algorithms in derivatives and capital markets, CBT doesn't work. CBT, I should not also generalize that doesn't work, but generally you have a migration project, you have a cloud transformation project, CBT is the best option initially. Maybe for the first year for the cloud transformation, code-based ETL is the best. But later, once you start ingesting huge volume of data, working with huge volumes of data, your organization will design how the architect should design how and what is the best. But it's not that I am opposing GUI-based ETL tools, but it has its own flavors. Informatica came with IICS. We all know about it. And more cloud-based ETL is also going to come in. So at the moment, comparing to what we have with Redshift and Azure and BigQuery is moving a bit faster. Of course, it is late in the market, but
okay.
It's making its footprint. Yeah.
Okay, one question like so knowing two cloud currently I'm working in Azure and again learning Google Cloud. So is there any obstacle or anything means to
I
cloud?
know you when you are going through when we were going through slides, you might have seen all these services with a same name or a different name almost.
Yeah, like
Okay.
container and all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you might have. The best thing is I observed is I am also into Azure actually.
Okay.
So you see the service names and service functionality always similar in Azure and Google Cloud.
Google Cloud. Yeah.
AWS being the first one, it is a little different. It has a different naming style, but it is also it is a major player. AWS.
Okay.
Glue is the ETL tool from AWS.
Glue. Yeah. Glue.
And
So
ADF is the one from Azure.
Azure.
And you have this some offering from Azure, that is your Synapse workspace, where you can do everything together in Azure.
And recently they're connecting with the Databricks for any kind of operations. So, so same thing, GCP, we are doing the BigQuery, right?
Sorry, Databricks?
So Databricks sometimes means we do the after ADF, then we're connecting with Databricks and doing all the transformation using Databricks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is available in
Harvard GCP.
The BQML should give you that option actually.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe I'll close the session for today here, and for the next session, maybe you will get the information from Durga.
Okay.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.